Welcome to Boise Song Talk. I'm James Coberly Smith. Give me a second to set this guitar down. Thank you. Songs. What are these songs? Well, consider this. On the one hand, we have somewhere over the rainbow. And on the other hand, we have get your motor running, dun, 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 head on down the highway. Dun, 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 dun. Completely different songs, but they both work. Now, what we're going to be doing on Boise Song Talk is we're going to be speaking with a number of the great local songwriters about how they write their songs. Now, they're all great live performers, so I encourage you to go out and see their live shows. But we won't be emphasizing performance here. Instead, we'll be focusing on how they write their songs. Now, I'm going to start this thing off with a song of my own, and then we'll go over and meet tonight's special guest. Well, I travel far and I travel wide. When I'm in my car, I think of you. As time goes by, another train goes around the bend. I think of you as a good old friend, one on whom I can depend. And when I'm changing lanes, or when I'm changing points of view, you know I always think of you and these special things you do. Not a lot to say, I got a lot to do. The way I feel today is like I always do. As time goes by, another train goes around the bend. I think of you as a good old friend, one on whom I can depend. And when I'm changing lanes, or when I'm changing points of view, you know I always think of you and these special things you do. You know I always think of you and these special things you do. Now let's go on over and meet tonight's special guest, Mr. Travis Ward. Thank you for coming, my friend.
Certainly.
All right, outstanding.
That's a cool song. I haven't heard that before.
Well, we're not talking about my songs. You better just
you played it. You better want to talk about it a little bit. You wrote it.
All right. Yeah. Well, I picked it because I figured it was sort of in your style.
Yeah, I like it.
There you go. Good. So, all right. I've seen you do so many different kinds of music, electric, acoustic, different things. You have such a feel all the time. It's a swampy kind of stuff. It's got such feel. If you don't mind, I'm just going to start, though, with some lyrical things. This is from Trash Can off of your album, Cobwebs in the Boxcar. Now, I'm just going to take the opening line. Trans-Siberian dusty star, a fairy tale jumping bale hatchback car, a fine line sometime out on the town. And it goes on. Now, that type of a string of words, does that come to you fast, or is that the type of lyric that's built over time?
That one in particular, I think there's, it can be many different ways, but that one in particular, I had thought about the writing of it for a really long time. But I was sitting in my girlfriend's apartment, Allie, my wife now, and was just looking out the window, strumming guitar, kind of footing around the apartment, and had some records, some comic books, a newspaper, and just started kind of looking at things and sort of piecing words together that way. And that song.
So you were playing the guitar when it was coming to you?
Yeah, it came really, really fast. It was like, took 10 or 15 minutes to write.
The whole song?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
okay.
And then I haven't been one to really, well, I take that back. I do some songs, but I don't stew on songs for very long. Either they kind of come out easy, or they go, on the back page of the notebook, and maybe I come back to them until they do come out a little bit easier. But I try not to, I don't want to fight a song, that's no fun.
Interesting. Because they seem like that kind of lyric. They seem like stream of consciousness stuff. No,
like Trans-Siberian was a line in the newspaper or something, and Dusty Star was a character on the comic book, and it just sort of, one thing after another.
Were they in the room with you, those comic books? And
yeah,
stuff?
It was just stuff,
really?
looking out the window or thinking about, stuff in my head would kind of work its way in between the visual stuff that I had in the house.
Interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. John Lennon, with the benefit of Mr. Kite, apparently took it off of looking at a poster or something. So that's very interesting that you're taking it right there, and you're picking it up, and you're playing the instrument. Do you usually write with an instrument?
No, not always. I used to only write, and then I started playing an instrument. Now it's like I play so much that it's hard to write without a guitar in my hands, because I always have one in my hands, kind of a thing. But no, I don't think I have to have one.
You always have one in your hands.
Well,
I understand. If
I have a spare moment,
right.
I'll pick up a guitar and maybe a song will pop out. Maybe I'll have a little chord progression or a melody kind of ringing in my head.
So would you say that usually music comes before the lyrics? In that case, they came together.
Yeah.
So usually music would come first?
No.
Usually they come together?
No, not necessarily.
So sometimes you'll just have lyrics, and then that you've gathered in notebooks or whatnot.
Yeah.
And you'll come back to it with an instrument.
Yeah.
To try to put music to it.
Sure. Most of the time, I think nowadays it's the music will come first, but not always.
Interesting. Now, there is another song that starts off. It's prefaced to a hole on Diggin' Songs album.
Mm-hmm.
The opening song is "Come and Dig a Hole with Me."
Yeah.
That's the opening line. It's the middle line. It's all the lines. It's the whole song.
Yeah.
And you stacked vocals. There's an additional vocal singing it each time it comes around.
Each member of the band got two rounds.
Each got two?
Yeah.
All right. And when you were, how did that come about? When you're thinking of those lyrics, "Come and Dig a Hole with Me," were you already thinking of that concept of what you do with it?
Well, there's a song that I wrote called "Dig a Hole" that I liked, and I had like two distinctly different versions of it, and it just kind of happened that there were other songs on that series of recordings that were about digging holes. So I thought, well, maybe we'll just make this sort of a theme for the record. It'll be digging songs.
Gotcha.
And so I took like kind of part of the melody and part of the chord changes and just kind of reduced it to that little phrase to start the record.
Interesting. Well, you feel like playing something here?
Sure. What kind of song do you want?
I don't have. There's no rules here. This is
right.
rock and roll TV.
Well, this one I wrote super fast, and there's not a lot going on musically. It's very lyrical. met Johnny in a hotel lobby, painted with bars and getaway plans. The prison guard's name was Johnny too, and he wanted to get away too, so they soon made a plan to bust the jail, disguised as carriers of the mail. They opened the door about 2 a.m., said, you know what to do, man, stick to the plan. Ran down a hall, around the first wall, they made it to the stairs, and they made it to a car. It was a 78 Tracer dressed in red. Billy looked at Johnny and then he said, hey, hey, I ain't coming back, man, me and you gotta run. So they drove down a dirt road through the main drag, through a small town to the other side. They stopped for fuel at a Flying J. They parked in the woods to wait out the day. They bought a 6-pack of beer, threw the cans in the rear. Moon came up, let's get out of here. They drove all night down the road. They were heading to a place that nobody knows. Got to a place not far or near, and this is where the story gets weird. Now Billy and Johnny on the run, ain't never going back again. Now Billy was the first to go inside, and Johnny said this is a good place to hide. Stocked with a bottle of Mexican rum, a bag of heroin, and a rusty gun. Billy took the bottle and he turned it up, and Johnny took the heroin and shot it up. The first thing to go was Billy's mind, but soon it would be Johnny's time. So they went outside and maybe clear their heads, shoot some cans and finish the rum. They saw a shooting star, looked just like a car, sound of a coyote from afar. Now hey, hey, Johnny, I think that Billy is drunk on rum. Hey, hey, Billy, watch out, man, Johnny has got the gun. What happened next is a little unclear, but they both knew that trouble was near. So Johnny shot up yet one more time, and Billy was feeling oh so fine with the heroin, the rum, the old shotgun. Billy and Johnny out on the run, hiding out in a double wide shack. They was yelling that we ain't never coming back. Billy finished the rum, threw the bottle at John. John looked at Bill and said, look what you done, with blood on his cheek and a tear in his eye. And Johnny grabbed the gun and let the bullets fly. Now hey, hey, Billy's done and Johnny is on the run. Was the very next day in a whole nother state when Johnny stopped to take a break. Saw the lights from a police car far, headed to the hills to avoid getting killed. He walked till his feet was tired and sore. He slept in a ditch for an hour or more. Woke to the sun early in the morning. No water, no food, and his clothes all torn. Too weak to run, no bullets for the gun. Nowhere to hide and nowhere to run. Sniffed him out, man, they tracked him down. So he laid face down on the ground. Now, hey, hey, Johnny, I believe that you've run your last run. Got one more verse.
Okay.
They pulled him from the ground, they put him in the car. They took him back to jail where he was a star. They found Billy's body a week or two later, free as can be in a busted down trailer. Every time Johnny would close his eyes, he'd see his friend Billy and he'd start to cry. Grew his hair long, wrote a song for fun called Billy and Johnny Out on the Run. Johnny passed away in '84. Run, Johnny, run, ain't running no more. So run, Johnny, run. Run to the Holy Sun. Run, Johnny, run, I believe that you've run your last run.
Very dang nice. So you say that came just real fast.
Yeah, super fast.
See, now that one,
The story,
yeah.
I wrote it, or I got like halfway done, and I was like, well, the story isn't done yet. So it's more of a story than a song, I guess. But
well, no, it's a story song, and it takes you logically one place to another, as opposed to we were just looking at Trash Can, which is more just lyrics just coming at you in a barrage. At least that's how I sing it.
Yeah, I enjoy writing like that.
Yeah, this is a very different thing though, and they both are great. By the way, I sing your song Trash Can once a week when I'm taking the trash out. I just want you to know.
Great.
It's trash
I'm
can,
flattered.
trash can. I know the song is not about a trash can, but exactly.
It's not really about anything, though.
No,
You know, it's just kind of a lot of catchy phrases, so it can be interpreted many ways, I guess.
So when you're out driving your car, or you're out grocery shopping or something, and lyrics start to come to you, or music, either one, if that occurs, because I know you said a lot of times you'll write with an instrument, but if those things occur other times, how do you capture them?
Well, sometimes you miss them, you know.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes
It's like fishing.
the melody, yeah, it is. Sometimes the melody, you know, is strong enough that, you know, you'll hang on to it, but sometimes you miss them. And it's the one that got away.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's others. And if it's a good enough idea, maybe it will come back around.
I gotcha. So would you say that you view writing more as an inspiration or a discipline?
More of an inspiration, but you have to work at it to get better at it. You can't.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it is a discipline also, but I don't like go, okay, from 8 to 10 today I'm gonna write a song.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of
Yeah.
I'll play guitar, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll sing or study something or just read, but sometimes the songs pop out.
And given that, well, not given, you've told me before that you have a notebook where you will put down a lot of ideas when they come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ever working on more than one song at a time?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
So that would mean that perhaps it's you have a certain song that's gone a certain way, like halfway there or something, and you're getting a lyric idea, and you'll go, oh yeah, that song, and throw it in on that?
To me, like, all songs are in like constant evolution, you know, like they can change anytime. There could be, oh, I got a new verse or a new idea, and I mean, I have multiple versions of the same song. Like, I do this song differently also. I have another version of it, but yeah, I don't know. I try not to make too many rules, I guess.
Good
And I don't
idea.
have a code or anything. I just do it.
Interesting you mentioned the different versions. This is, to some degree, a performance question, but once you've written a song, does it sometimes take a little while to get to the working with it to where you feel you can perform it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sometimes it happens real fast, and I mean, a lot of the songs I write and play are pretty simple. You know, I don't have to overthink them. But yeah, it takes, you know, a song I think will be sounding great, and then a year later I realize, wow, it sounds way better right now than it did a year ago. And sometimes it's the opposite, you know. Sometimes you play a song so much that you've changed it and watered it down, and it doesn't sound as good as it did right at the beginning when it was just super, super fresh and really meaningful to you, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Interesting. Huh. So when they get better, is there anything you think that has happened? Something you can define of why they're getting better?
Well, I think
practice,
it's just practice, yeah, and you know, learn how to deliver it more the way the song deserves, you know. It's and there's some players that are probably able to do that at a faster pace than others, and I think I might be a little bit slow, but
I bet I could compete with you.
but I'm also, you know, I'll play a song before it's probably ready to be played out. I do that often, and like realize, you know, trial by fire.
Interesting. Well, why don't we hear another one out of the drawer there?
Yeah, let me play a different kind of style of song here.
Oh, yeah.
One that's not as lyrical, I guess.
Comes that nice national guitar.
Yeah, I like this one quite a bit.
Yeah.
So this one is it's not as wordy.
Okay.
I think I can do it. come, I'm gonna knock on your door. The preacher comes to put you down in your hole. So tell me, Mr. Wilson, oh, Mr. Wilson, tell me what went wrong. Mr. Wilson, oh, Mr. Wilson, tell me what went wrong. Nights coming, man, the lights are low. The road's winding through the valley below. The engine rattled like a clank in a can. The paint's faded, but at least she ran. So tell me, Mr. Wilson, oh, Mr. Wilson, tell me what went wrong. Mr. Wilson, oh, Mr. Wilson, tell me what went wrong. Across the badlands and over the plains, or through the desert and a wide open range. Piano player, he's playing his song. Please, Mr. Wilson, tell me what went wrong. Tell me, Mr. Wilson, oh, Mr. Wilson, tell me what went wrong. Mr. Wilson, oh, Mr. Wilson, tell me what went wrong.
Very nice. Jeez. So, if you had some advice to give to a new songwriter or a veteran songwriter for that matter, any particular thing you would say?
I guess don't get weighed down by thinking that a song has to be written a certain way or a certain thing is a song. Like sometimes I've written songs like with just recording, you know, just there's so many ways to make a song. I think that, you know, you can make a painting with more than paint, or make a drawing with more than pencils. There's just, you can do anything you want, you know. Clank a couple rocks together and make a song, or, you know, whatever.
So stay wide open to whatever might come to you.
I think so.
Sounds good to me.
But everybody's got their own way to interpret it, you know. It's just how I do it.
Well, I sure see it in your music, and it's a very wonderful thing to me, viewing it. It keeps me entertained, because I don't know what's going to happen next.
I don't either.
I know you don't. I'm sure you don't. One last question, and then we'll have you take us out on a little playing something.
All right.
Do you sometimes have a song that you think is a very good song, but you play it for an audience and you feel like they don't get that song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
So, and then there are other songs that are sort of the popular songs that people
Yeah, that people really
where you go,
identify
this is
with.
good, but boy, I don't know why they don't get that one. That kind of thing.
All the time.
Yeah,
I don't
interesting, right?
understand it.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Huh. Well, this is Travis Ward, by the way. He has a band, Hill Folk Noir. You definitely should go out to see them. By the way, if you want any more information on Travis Ward or Hill Folk Noir, you can contact me at jamescoberlysmith@gmail.com. We'll probably have that running at the end of the show. I want to thank Travis very much for coming on. And we're going to just play a little music and see if it finishes this thing off. If not, we're going to talk some more.
All right.
All right. Travis Ward.
Well, do not fear the grizzly bear unless he's right outside your house, unless he's right outside your door, unless he's beating down your door. Do not fear the grizzly bear unless you don't have pepper spray. You're in the woods, you lost your way, and you're having a bad day. Do not fear the octopus unless it's coming at your ship and your sails are all ripped and the octopus hates your ship. No need to scream for help unless your troubles turn to chicken and you're tied to the rail. You got a cougar on the trail. You can start to fear your leader if he controls your mind and your thoughts become his and you start to look like him. But please don't fear success unless you're lying on the street or in a penthouse hot tub suite, or if you're lying to yourself. No need to fear the hospital unless you're on your way there with burnt to crisp black hair and the great barbecue scare. And then if when you get there you find they will not fix your hair because you can't afford the fare, and they give you back your hair. Well, do not fear the grizzly bear unless he's right outside your tent, wants you to pay the rent. You ain't got but a cent.